This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
A lot more to do, a lot more, it's just obviously it's a little bit more of a city than what Green Bay was, and I love Green Bay for what it was, and it kept me grounded. It's great for a young guy coming in, coming into some money, just to hold on to your money and kind of make everything about football. But as you start to get older, or if you just, if you're that type of person that can control those type of things, it's great for you, being in this type of environment.
I know you're focused on football and all that, but do you ever catch yourself thinking, well, I'm really here with the Raiders right now?
Oh, yeah, every day, for sure. I'm the type of person that, I don't like to stop and smell the roses as far as accomplishments and stuff like that, but as far as appreciation for, what I've been through and where I am and where I actually am, geographically, it's something that I pay a lot of attention to. I talk about with my teammates, my friends, my wife, just kind of, because when I slapped that jersey on and to do the media day stuff the other day, that's when it really hit me. When I that was my first time putting the real gear on. So, I like to, stop and appreciate stuff along the way. So I've definitely been paying attention to that.
Hunter, from a football perspective, you've gone through a lot of changes in a short amount of time, from learning a new scheme to getting to know new teammates. And even though you played with Derek in college, getting to work with another quarterback that's not Aaron Rodgers, how have you handled all that so far throughout the offseason program?
I mean, we got right back to work, just like, and I don't know if I mentioned to you guys when I came here, right after I signed, but we were working out together for the first 6 years of our, NFL career anyway, because we lived right down the street from each other once I moved up to Danville. So, I mean, we were throwing probably 3 times a week for, 5-6 years. So, had about a 2-year gap when they, the team moved out here, but basically picked up where we left off, and we both are so committed and obsessive over our craft to where even today I messed something up at the end of practice, just a subtle thing, and we go back out there after to go, I just want to feel that and do, because that's the way we did it before. Anytime, if he didn't like a ball he threw in a period, he'd have me go stand in a spot that I would have been catching the ball, and then he'll fire it until he liked how he threw it, which is usually one more pass. But when you got two dudes that have worked together and already built up a lot of camaraderie and have a close friendship, I feel like that makes it so much easier kind of getting back and gelling, the way you were before.
Davante, when a team signs a superstar, the players on the roster can embrace them or not, and all your teammates have talked about you being the leader. What does it mean to you to be embraced by these guys the way they have?
It means a lot, man. Honestly, it puts a smile on my face, and it's something that I mention, when I'm talking to my loved ones back home that are like, what's it been like? That's one of the first things I talk about. I'm like, man, the respect that I got when I walked in the building, from the players, mainly, I mean, not just mainly, but for sure I pay attention to the players, because sometimes, competition comes in, in the whiteout room, it may not be, it's obviously going to, potentially take away from some opportunities for other people, and to see the way that they've, kind of embraced me being here and, using me as a resource and just enjoying the company too. It's been a great feeling.
Davante, last week Hunter Renfrow came and talked about how cool it is to play with you, not even just on the field, but your healthy competitions on the golf course.
Yeah, I saw you mention that. Yeah, he made it seem like he just be killing me out there on the course, but he's a better golfer than me right now. But you got to take into account, and I don't want to cut off your question, but being in Green Bay, that's 7 months out of the year, that I can't play golf. He's been in Vegas and Oakland, so of course his golf game gonna be where it need to be. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. Just what is it like just playing with him?
It's great, man. He's an interesting dude because I've been around a lot of people that are like Hunter, but they're never usually going into their, what is this, 4th year coming up. It's never been a 4th year with the type of football acumen that he has, and his awareness and understanding why he does certain things, because there's people out there with a lot of talent, but they can't sit there and break it down and tell you why they're doing what they did with their footwork, or the next rep why they tweaked it a little bit because of the look that they had. So his awareness and his football smarts is definitely, he's ahead of his time. So it's actually fun. Sometimes I'll be sitting there just talking to him like in the middle of an offensive meeting, and we'll be talking about releases, and he'll tell me what he thought, and I'm like, this is fun. This is fun, being able to be with somebody who's a lot like me mentally. The way that I approach the game, the way I attack it. Always trying to find little small nuances of whether it's something that the defense is doing or if it's with footwork that I do. So it's been great. I've been learning from him. He's learned from me. I am going to beat him on the golf course very soon. He's running away going to South Carolina, so it'll be a few weeks I can't get him. But once we get a few off days in camp, I'm sure we'll be picking it back up.
Davante, you've been in some explosive offenses. What's the potential for this offense?
I mean, this offense has a ton of potential. We got players all over that have made plays and have done a great job and been doing it for a long time now. But the potential is nothing until you put the work in, and we still got a long way to go. So we're climbing right now, doing all the right things, and learning a new scheme and all of that. But don't really matter till you go out there and really put it together. So Darren is a hell of an athlete. We talked about Hunter. We got Josh. We got a lot of running backs too. It's a lot of guys in there. I'm excited to see what Amir does. A lot of guys that can go, make plays and give this offense the potential to explode. But it ain't gonna just happen because we're standing out there. So we got to put that, keep stacking the days and put the work in.
Davante, what has it been like for you kind of dissecting the playbook at Josh McDaniels and kind of embracing the new offensive system?
It's been a challenge. It's been fun though. I haven't had to learn a new system for quite some time now. Even when Matt LaFleur came to Green Bay, having Aaron, they worked and kind of we pulled a few things from the old offense that we had when Mike McCarthy was there and kind of brought that to the new offense. So it was kind of half and half. Even then, I only had to learn like 75% of a new playbook. So. It's a bit of a change, but I've been enjoying it. It's a lot of different things that Josh has a incredible football mind. So just knowing things that he's accomplished, which obviously I'm sure he's talked about, and everybody that doesn't really have anything to do with this now, but having that experience like that and having been to the big game almost 10 times, that means a lot. And just having that anytime you can bring somebody in who just knows how to win, that gives you a lot of confidence as an offense. So we bought into everything that he's taught us and everything that he stands for, and we just got to keep stacking days and then make it about something.
Have you and Derek talked to Josh about integrating things you guys are like, or does that come down the road a little bit?
That'll be down the road. Yeah, that's if I'm just trying to make sure I know everything now. You can't really come in, making demands and trying to do all that until you really know your stuff. And that's one thing that I do love about Josh, though. I feel like that'll be something that, not changing the scheme, but, tweaks here and there of different things, little small subtleties that, because I've obviously been doing this for a while, too. So, he respects what I say and what I've done. So I feel like that'll allow us to continue to grow and navigate throughout the season, find different ways to beat certain teams. So he's definitely always got his ears open, and I appreciate that about him.
How was it working again with Edgar Benning easing your transition coming here from Green Bay?
Man, he was one of the first people I saw when I walked in the building after I signed, and it just put a big smile on my face, man. It was kind of, it added, because I don't know as many players, or I didn't know as many players on this team as, maybe some others when I first got here. So to see a familiar face, also Coach Mo, he was a special teams guy in Green Bay. So to see some familiar faces like that, it just kind of gives you a sense of comfort. And, a guy who understands what I'm about. He's seen me from literally when I first got in Green Bay. So he's kind of seen the whole progression from young rookie who doesn't know anything to coming in. And, I've kind of established a few things now. So, just to be able to work with him again is definitely a blessing.
Davante,
Go ahead, guys.
okay. Have you had conversations with Aaron since leaving Green Bay, and what was that goodbye like?
Oh yeah, I mean we've talked multiple times, and we talked throughout the whole process too. And he was aware of where I stood, and I was aware of where he stood, and we had talks just like what he said the other day. He mentioned we had talks about his future and what he thinks his duration in Green Bay or just football in general would look like, and that played into my decision as well, because where I'm in my career. And this isn't a shot at anybody, any other quarterbacks or in Green Bay. I love Jordan Love, especially. He's a great guy, but I got aspirations of doing really, really big things and being remembered. And it wasn't really a point in my career that I was willing to sacrifice. Aaron not being there, after a year or two. So my decision was to be here, and he respected that. He understood that, it has a lot to do with where I want to raise my kids, family, being closer to home. I mentioned that to you guys when I first came up here. I hadn't, my grandparents never seen me play in 8 years. So to be able to have my family closer, and, the suites are a lot more expensive here, but now I can have pack the suite out with the family and and kind of do that whole thing. So we've had a lot of great talks. He was in the match. I'm sure y'all know about that, and wanted me to go play a practice round with him in the morning, and I definitely would have gone and done that, but we had practice here, so he didn't have to be out there just yet. So but yeah, we've had a lot of good talks, man. He understands where I'm coming from. I understood where he was coming from, so we kind of just left it at that.
Davante, pardon me for taking the subject off the football field for a moment. Jack Del Rio came under fire for some tweets comparing and sort of minimalizing what happened at the Capitol and comparing it to social injustices and civil unrest. I'm just wondering, miles away from D.C. to Vegas, if it's had a ripple effect, and if you have any comment or thoughts.
No, I don't have any comments or thoughts. I've been just burying my face in this playbook, man. Just really, and that's not to, I wish I had something spicier for you, but I haven't paid it. Honestly, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. And that may be bad awareness on my part, but I've just been diving in this book and trying to enjoy every day here with these guys so far.
Davante, the other day we were talking to Darren Waller, and he was saying that when he was looking at old Patriots, well, not old, so recent and old Patriots film, what he saw that really excited him was Gronk running wild. Was there anything when you watched the film of Josh's offense that has particularly excited you in kind of the same way about your role in this offense?
Well, yes, but it's not in the same sense where I'm watching one guy. I'm excited because I just look at all the routes that are being run, and Josh has such a way to be able to move me around and move other people around to be in certain positions on the field to be in the most advantageous spot. So that's what excites me, is that I know, and having the company that I have, having Darren and really everybody, but Darren and Hunter, those are two guys that you can't, if you want to come double and triple me, which has happened, it puts a lot of stress on the rest of the defense, because now they got to go cover one-on-one with Hunter in the slot, and that's too much room to give a guy like that to go out there and operate. So I think about it more of a team big picture, and I definitely get excited when I see some of the routes, but it's more so just knowing that I can be anywhere on the field and have the potential to make a big play.
We're going to do three more. We're going to go Ken, Chris, and Hondo.
Davante, time flies, man. I remember interviewing you at Legacy Stadium at the Venetian years ago, and you were just as humble as you are now. More exciting to go into that rookie year with Green Bay, or more exciting to come here to Vegas and show everybody that you're still that guy?
Equally excited. I'm equally excited. It's different. Going to Green Bay, you're a kid finally being able to fully fulfill your dream of playing in the NFL. So it's hard to beat that. But then, following it up with coming back and playing for the team that you grew up loving, it's really hard to beat that too. So it's tough to answer and give you one or the other, but I'll say it's equally exciting because both are dream come trues for me, and I was able to give a lot and get a lot from Green Bay, and the same now. I'm looking forward to being able to put, obviously I've been compensated now it's time for me to go do what I do for Vegas and enjoy my teammates here. So
I just wanted to thank you though, because my wife's from Wisconsin, so we made it back to Lambeau a couple times to see you there. But as soon as you got traded to the Raiders, my wife is now on board Silver and Black.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Devontae, I was wondering, you mentioned Rodgers. What are some of the maybe subtle similarities or differences between Rodgers and Carr, since you've worked with both of them for so many years?
That's a tough question. I mean, it's tough to compare. It's really apples and oranges. Derek. I mean, it's just such a different ball game. I mean, obviously you have Aaron, who's cemented as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, and that's just like comparing me to like Jerry Rice. It'd be tough to do because Jerry's put together what he's done, and it's undeniable respect for him. And me, I'm still going, and there's still a lot that I got to do to be able to be mentioned with Jerry, and I'm aware of that, and I think Derek is also aware of that, from a big picture. But as far as talent and ability, I mean, it's really similar. If I'm keeping it real, Derek's arm strength and they throw the ball a lot different. Like Derek is going to fire it in there, and you're going to know that thing's coming quick. And Aaron's got the ability to just kind of tighten that core up and just flick the ball to you. So the release is a lot different, but being able to get the ball to you late, you know, if they see you coming out of a break. Not many quarterbacks can get it to you before you get to the sideline, you know, if you're outside the numbers already. But having two guys like that with really strong arms and understand the game and, you know, the mental part of it is another similarity that they have is they both obsess over it and they know everything that's going on out there. A lot of times I've seen Aaron call out a blitz when the safety's, you know, 17 yards off the ball, just kind of creeping back there. He said in practice, hey, he's coming. And I'm like, what? And then sure enough, dude comes flying on the snap from 17 yards down the field. So I've seen that from Aaron. And then I've seen Derek literally give me a check that didn't make any sense to me before in college. Here, same thing. And, you know, we scored a touchdown on it. So a lot of similarities, but much different. And I think Derek is in a position where he's chasing to be one of those all-time greats like that, which is, like I said, that's not a slight on Derek whatsoever. I wouldn't be here if I was slighting Derek. But I don't think that I'm ready to compare myself to Jerry Rice just yet. We'll see when it's all said and done, you know, or after some more time, just to be fair overall. And I think the same is with Derek. We both chasing it and still got a lot in front of us.
Davante, in professional sports, you see a lot of guys sign the big contract and go places they're not happy.
Yeah.
Watching you around the facility practices, I mean, you genuinely seem to be loving where you're at.
Time of my life.
At this time in your life, can you describe that feeling to not only got the respect of the payday, but to be in a place that you're so happy?
It's hard to explain. I mean, that's another thing is, like, I'm sure everybody talks about, you know, you guys have heard Green Bay offer this, which was higher than what I was, and all of that. And yeah, I'll say it was true. Okay, it was true. But like I said, there's much more that goes into it, and family is a big part of it for me. So geographically being here, it makes it a lot easier for me to stay connected to my family year round. And you know, this isn't year 2, or I'm not trying to necessarily fight for a job or anything like that, to where, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to just stay out there. You know, I had the choice, and the choice was for me to come here and, you know, raise my family on the West Coast and come out here and have some fun in the sun. And it's starting to get incredibly sunny, but it's we got ghosts here too, apparently, but yeah. But yeah, it's hard to explain. This is what I thought about. You seen the pictures of me as a kid in my yearbook saying NFL NBA star. That's what I want to do. Davante Adams, NFL NBA star. And you know, sometimes you just got to manifest it and throw your jersey on and see if you can kind of, you know, they say history repeats itself. So here we are.
Were those gold cleats you wore yesterday Madden cleats?
Those were last year's, yeah. Last year's one. So we'll see what the ones look like this year.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right.
Were you on? Do you know if you were on Jack Peterson's?
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.